This is Martle's Oasis. Miss Martle was the first mayor of Sandrock, and she found this oasis a long time ago. We all drink this water, so don't step in it.
Somewhere between Portia and Highwind, surrounded by the lethal splendor of the desert, lies the smallest of the three cities, Sandrock. Though the landscape is barren and the town itself looks a little worse for wear, it is still quite a sight. Colorful buildings huddled around a tiny oasis against a backdrop of vibrant red mesas. And it is this small oasis that Sandrock owes its existence to. Once a verdant place full of life, now little more than a puddle and a handful of trees, Martle's Oasis was named after the woman who discovered it, fell in love with it, and decided to stay there. Little did she know this decision would bring death and destruction to the place she aimed to preserve. Her story, in the form of a cartoon, can be watched in Katori's museum. After discovering the oasis, Martel opened a small hotel so that the weary travelers crossing the desert would have a place to rest, which also sounds like quite a good business deal if you ask me. The unexpected explosion of lush greenery amidst the scorched emptiness of the desert was breathtaking, and she wanted to share its beauty with others, but also wanted to be its guardian. Now, I don't know how making sure that more people would have a chance to find this place was supposed to protect it, but I guess that Martel really thought of others. She honestly wanted people to experience something nice and beautiful, and she thought she could keep the oasis as intact as possible, all by herself. After all, she was idealistic and young. A few peaceful years went by, and she seemed to have everything mostly under control. Unfortunately, at that time, in the nearby ruins of an old-world metropolis, relics were discovered. In a blink of an eye, prospectors and ruin divers swarmed the place in search of precious artifacts. Very quickly, an entire town was built around Martel's little settlement. The oasis, obviously, could not support that many people at once, especially since they kept cutting down trees to build more houses, and without the trees, the fragile ecosystem collapsed, and the desert started pouring in. When Martel saw all the destruction and realized there was nothing she could do to stop it, she got desperate. With vegetation turning to dust before her very eyes, she decided to embark on a lifelong journey of trying to make this arid land fertile again. Together with her husband Mort and their foster son Zeke, they worked tirelessly year after year, developing new ways of planting crops and improving soil quality, but the results were meager at best. Even when something seemed like a step in the right direction, like Mort's invention of the straw grid, the desert, like a living, malicious creature, always forced them 2 steps back. Their oasis kept getting smaller and smaller, and all they managed to achieve was to buy a bit more time. The town itself prospered for a while thanks to the old ruins underneath it. A railway was built, connecting Sandrock with older, well-established cities of Atara and Highwind. But, as it happens in such cases, when most of the really valuable artifacts were recovered, the prospectors left with them. The town of Sandrock, born of normal human qualities, that is, desire for profit and lack of foresight, just like so many mining towns of the Old West, slowly bled out. And even though some people decided to stay, the bleak reality of living in such a barren place and the futility of Martel's efforts to revive the oasis kept chipping away at their endurance. And they too started moving out. And so, humans, once again, did what they do surprisingly well if not kept in check. Destroyed something, made a surprised Pikachu face, and left. When we get to Sandrock, Martel is long gone, but the town still exists, and so does the oasis, or what's left of it, mostly due to the efforts of the current inhabitants of Sandrock.
In Sandrock, Martel's Oasis is pretty much our only reliable source of natural water. We also get some water from the other city-states, but it's expensive, so we need to be really careful and smart about how we divvy it out. Might I bring your attention to the humble little fence propped up around the oasis? It's the town's friendly way of saying, don't take water out of the oasis all willy-nilly, or cut down the trees for that matter.
To start with, there aren't too many trees around, so don't go swinging your axe around too much. It's, frowned upon, anyway.
They live by very strict rules of conserving water and preserving the remaining trees. The local chapter of the Church of Light is also very much involved, and due to the harsh living conditions, its usual policies against the use of old world technology are much more relaxed here.
But the interesting thing about our chapter is that Matilda is extremely lenient when it comes to relics and old tech. In Sandrock, we're allowed to hold on to some pretty mean stuff. Sometimes they'll even let relic weapons slide. And it's a good thing, too. Life would be much harder out here if we didn't have the means to defend ourselves.
Hand in hand, it seems, everyone works very hard to keep Martle's legacy alive. Her husband Mort is still around, and though extremely old and frail, he'll gladly share some stories from his past. Their son Zeke, a stone-faced hulk of a man, takes care of a huge greenhouse where most of Sandrock's food supplies are grown. And this greenhouse is indeed something. The garden's irrigation system is self-sustaining and powered by a piece of rare old-world tech, which seems to gather moisture from the atmosphere, hence the name of the place, Moisture Farm. Yeah, just like in Star Wars. It's easy to see that the greenhouse is Sandrock's biggest treasure and probably the greatest success in the development of desert farming. However, the irony of this situation is not lost on us. The only place in Sandrock with such a concentration of lush and edible vegetation was created thanks to the very thing that had caused the destruction of the oasis in the first place: ruin diving and excavations. Will the oasis survive? Will they finally find a way to return it to its former glory? We have to wait until the full version of the game gets released to find out. Anyway, that's it for today. That was the brief history of Martle's Oasis. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time. Take care.